Welcome everybody to the Broadoak Academy virtual open evening. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I am Miss McGillicuddy and I'm the principal here. It is the beginning of my 4th year here at Broadoak and I'm absolutely thrilled to see the Academy go from strength to strength year on year, and I'm hoping to share with you some of the ways that we have gone from strength to strength and to share with you how children are front and centre in all that we do here. So over the course of the next sort of 30 minutes or so, we'll be sharing with you the values of the Academy, some of the areas around curriculum, some of our pastoral areas, i.e. the way that tutor groups and year groups are set up. For you, you'll see that there's a Q&A function on this Teams event where you can type in any questions that you have at all, and a colleague of mine, Mrs. Massey, will be responding to your questions there and then, and there'll be an opportunity towards the end of this session where we can draw together any key questions that we want to share. So before we go into the detail of our curriculum, our pastoral offer, what I'd like to do is take some time to talk to you about the values of Broadoak Academy. As you can imagine, community is one of our key values. We are of this community for the families and the children of this community. And we've been here coming up 98 years now, so just coming into our 99th 100 year of serving the south area of Weston. One of the other values that we have as an academy is that we're incredibly open-minded, and we like to tackle each challenge and opportunity with fresh eyes and be very open-minded in our learning and how we support our families and how we approach making sure education is the best that it can possibly be. We're not closed off to any ideas, suggestions or partnership working that will make things as good as they can be for the young people here in Weston. Some other, it wouldn't surprise you that a key value of ours is love of learning. As adults, we love learning about our subjects, we love learning about how to support young people, and we want to inspire young people to also love learning in subjects that they already know they enjoy, but also in subjects that are new to them. And love of learning is writ large across the academy in our day in, day out experience. We seek to be a very inclusive academy, and by that I mean we work very, very hard to make sure that we meet the needs of all of our young people who come to us from across the community. And in doing so, one of our key values is excellence, and that doesn't mean we're always perfect. What it means is that everything we're striving to do, we try to do it to the very best of our ability. And there's some of the key values that underpin Broadoak Academy. Some of the key things that young people ask about when they're considering that important step to secondary, they ask about uniform. And uniform is incredibly important here at Broadoak Academy. We are immensely proud of our young people and how they represent Broadoak Academy and how they present Broadoak Academy. And wearing of the purple tie done right up to that top button, shirts tucked in, polishable shoes and a very smart blazer are all part of the very high expectations that we have for our young people here at Broadoak. The idea of being an ambassador for self, for family, for the school and for the wider community is a really important strand throughout our work as we help to develop young people who go on to be fantastic citizens and community-minded citizens, not just here in Weston but beyond. The school day itself is often something that young people ask about because it is very different from primary school. And we've got 6 lessons during the day and they last 50 minutes. The lessons start at 8:45. The end of the day is at 3 o'clock. But before that, at 8:15, there's a breakfast club available if you would like one. And after 3 o'clock, there's a homework club available to develop those independent study skills and also to support young people who may not have sole access to IT at home. Now, obviously, within that day, you've got tutor time, break time and the all-important lunchtime. And at lunchtime, young people can go to the canteen and they can choose from a wide menu, their choice that they pay for, or free school meal students will obviously receive their meals, or students can bring in a packed lunch. But food is a really key part of transition. It's one of the most popular questions that we get, and paninis always go down very, very well with our New Year 7s. Attendance at school is absolutely vital for us, and I'm sure I don't need to labour the point that attendance at school leads to much better outcomes in terms of GCSEs later in life. But more than that for us, attendance at school is incredibly important for the emotional and mental well-being of young people, for the establishment of great peer relationships and also trusted relationships with adults who will help them through their 5 years at secondary. So we work very hard with our families to ensure attendance is as good as it can be, and it's another layer of the high expectations we have for young people so they can be as successful as possible. In a moment, Miss Smith, our Vice Principal, will talk about the curriculum offer, and that means the things that you will be studying. And Mr. Tippler, Assistant Principal, will be talking about how we are set out in year groups and what a tutor group might look like. But for the young people who are watching this evening, it's such an exciting time for you. You're probably sitting there and you're thinking, I wonder what it will be like. I wonder what subjects I can study. And so to give you a flavour, we have got dance lessons delivered by the Angels Dance Academy here, computing, catering, business, the sciences, technology, photography, the arts, drama, a thriving language department. So if you enjoy Spanish or French, you will get on very, very well. Geography, history, ethics. Now, some of these you'll know already and you'll have some favourites, and others you may not have heard of before. What an exciting time to find out about those subjects and maybe discover a passion that you didn't realise you had and inspire some love of learning in a particular subject area. Our extracurricular offer is just as exciting and ranges from film clubs, Warhammer, right through to rugby, netball, football, dance, Latin, our Eco Leaders group. So there is a club available for your talent and your passion. We're very, very lucky here at Broadoak in that the PQA, or Pauline Quirk Academy, is run every weekend out of Broadoak, and they have very generously offered 2 scholarships for Broadoak Academy students who show exceptional talent in drama to attend. So that's a really nice thing for our students here. This year we'll also see us working in partnership with an organisation called the Brilliant Club, who run researchers in school, and that will see a PhD candidate or a person studying to be a doctor in the sciences work with us to develop projects to help progress our high-flying young scientists out there. So that's just a flavour of some of the exciting things that are happening. We also work very hard at developing student voice. So earlier I talked about young people developing into being good citizens, and part of that is the development of student voice, and there's lots of opportunity across Broadoak Academy. We have our own student parliament, which is a setup where each tutor group has representatives who then take forward the student voice at a whole school level, which then also influences across the whole Cabot Learning Federation, where a member of Broadoak Academy student body represents us. Students can take part in art competitions in conjunction with the local Lions Club. We have writing competitions. We also have the opportunity for any of our musicians not only to take lessons in the instruments of their choice, but also to play at events that we put on. One of the key areas of student voice that's really important in the history and in the present and the future of Broadoak Academy are our prefects. When students reach year 11, they have an opportunity to apply for and be interviewed for the role of prefect. If successful at that, they then have the opportunity to put themselves forward for head prefect, and they have to give a speech to the whole staff and student body and get voted in. So I hope that gives you a sense of how students are at the heart and soul of what we do. Families and community are really key part of our values that we want to push forward. So any initial questions, please do put them in the Q&A and Mrs. Massey will reply. But I'm now going to hand over to Miss Smith, who will talk to you about curriculum.
Hello everyone, I'm Miss Smith and I'm Vice Principal here at Broadoak in charge of the curriculum. At Broadoak we offer a fantastic range of subjects, as Miss McGillicuddy has already mentioned, from dance to computing, from business studies to music, alongside all the GCSE subjects and subjects at Key Stage 3 that you would expect, like science, English and maths. At Broadoak, we benefit from being part of the wider Cabot Learning Federation family. And what that means is that we have access to a high quality, well-sequenced curriculum that's been designed by subject experts, both here at Broadoak and across the Trust schools, to make sure that our curriculum plans are the best that they can be to deliver excellent lessons for our students. In Year 7, you're probably interested to find out what sort of topics or subjects you might be studying. So a little flavour for you. In history, you'll study the Battle of Hastings. In science, you'll look at cells. In art, you'll look at portraits. And in maths, you'll be looking at some probability and lots of other things too. But those are some of the flavour of subjects you're going to study in Year 7. We can't wait to welcome you into our classrooms, but as Ms McGillicuddy also mentioned, we also have lots of extracurricular clubs for you to follow your individual passions outside of the classroom as well as in the classroom. If you've got any questions about the curriculum, feel free to have a little look on the Cabot Learning Federation website because the curriculum is fully published on there. And also please do put questions in the Q&A because we can address those at the end of this event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Smith. Okay, so that gives you a little flavour of what the curriculum offer is. So that's the offer within the classroom. And one of the things that's probably worth reinforcing is that we spend an awful lot of time in terms of teacher development and professional development in developing our subject expertise so that all of our teachers are in a position to support, challenge and push forward the progress of young people in their lessons. We have got subject experts who are absolutely passionate about their subject and that's the sort of ignition of passion that we want to see in classrooms where young people are in front of teachers who know their stuff, and that's what you will experience in the classrooms here at Broadoak. So that gives a flavour of the actual learning in the classroom. Let's turn for a few moments and think about what we call the pastoral side of the school and what that sounds like and looks like at Broadoak Academy. And so Mr. Tippler will just outline that for you.
My name is Mr. Tippler and I'm Assistant Principal here for Culture and Inclusion, and particularly around the pastoral system and how we look after our students. Every Year 6 student coming up into Year 7 is assigned a tutor group, and those tutor groups are formed on the basis of students coming from lots of different primary schools in together, but through regular meetings with the SENCOs, with the class teachers, with the head teachers and any other relevant staff in the primary schools to support us in getting those as right as we can. We want to create the opportunity for students to make new friends, but also create the opportunity for them to continue with the friendships that they've got as well. So in terms of the information that we gather, we would obviously make sure that we gather their academic ability, that their friendships, their social skills and their extracurricular interests. And we're looking for a real blended approach towards our tutor groups, so we get lots of different strengths from different areas within them. Year 7 have their own wing here at Broadoak. So they have their own set of social spaces, both indoor and out, to use at break time and lunchtime, as well as their own eating area for lunch. There are possibilities for them to interact with other students, just not at the moment with our current bowl systems. Mr. Knight is our year leader in Year 7 and Year 8, and he's supported by Mrs. Hamley, who's the assistant head of lower school. The students and teams are then supported by a fantastic team of tutors. So each student assigned to a tutor group will then have their same form tutor every day that they would meet for registration. This is going to be the adult who gets to know them the best, meets them every day, the person that will be the first port of contact for you as parents, would be the liaison between school and home around your child's education and around any barriers to their learning or barriers to them being successful. In terms of the lessons that students go to, they go to primarily lessons as their tutor group. However, in our practical lessons, these are slightly different around PE and technology. But as a whole, they will form a bond as a tutor group similar to how they have done at primary school in their Year 6 classes and get to know each other really well. And then those friendships and those learning partnerships and everything continue from there and set them up really well for their time through the school here. If you do have any questions at all relating to the pastoral system that we have here at Broadoak, please do not hesitate to pop some questions in the chat or to contact either myself or Mr. Knight, who's, as I say, the head of lower school, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Many thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Tippler. I hope that gave a flavour that we run a horizontal year group system there, so that was really useful. I would like to invite Mrs. Massey to come over on the microphone and just share with us any questions that have been coming up throughout this short presentation. So Mrs. Massey.
Hi everyone. Yeah, we've had some questions. So one of the questions that's come through is what opportunities in science are there for our young people?
Okay, in terms of outside of the classroom or within?
Well, it didn't specify, so I'm thinking probably a combination of the two would be helpful.
Okay, all right. So all of the students study the science curriculum as sort of indicated by Ms. Smith, and that science curriculum, the content of that is available on the CLF website if you want to have a look at the topics. In terms of opportunities within science itself, we often have science clubs. Clubs are running slightly differently this year, but if it was an ordinary year, there would be science club after school. And as I mentioned at the beginning, we will have a researcher in school whose role will be to provide projects, opportunities and clubs for high flying budding scientists. So that's going to be very, very exciting development for us this year. Anything else, Mrs. Massey?
Thank you. Yeah, what kind of sports are available for girls during and after school at Broadoak Academy?
Okay, so the girls play, well, there's a whole range of sports, but in terms of teams that go out and play against other schools, we have netball and we have hockey, but there is a wide range of sports that are available in school. Again, slightly altered this year to take into account regulations at the moment about contact sport, but we do have a thriving and successful sports department led by Mr. Bird, and Mrs. George leads out on the girls' PE. What we're always interested in is if students have a particular sport that's their passion, PE team are very interested in hearing from them, and they will look to meet that provision if we don't already.
Thank you. And the last question, we've got a young person very excited about learning a language, and they wondered what choice of language they might have.
Okay, so we've got French and Spanish as our languages that we offer, and then in terms of clubs, whilst not a living language, we have Latin, but we also have a colleague who offers Mandarin as an after-school club.
That's fantastic. Thank
you very much. Okay, if I just talk briefly about some next steps then, because we've got lots of information we can share with you, but we don't necessarily need you to keep online right now. You can explore it at your leisure. So I'll just talk you through some of those. So if you go to our website, you'll see the telephone number to book a family tour. And so we're offering tours after schools and on Saturdays, but we do need you to book in, and you will be the only family that we do take round at that particular time. But we would be absolutely delighted to show you around the academy, the grounds and the building itself. If you go onto our YouTube site, you will see videos from some of our departments and faculties where they're just trying to give a flavour of what it's like in those departments, and you'll hear from some students, some Year 11 students and some Year 7 students. So do take your time to have a look at that, and it will really show a little bit more about Broadoak. We've also got on that YouTube site videos from during lockdown. So if you want to see teachers reading Harry Potter, if there are any Harry Potter fans out there, if you want to see our current Year 7s during their transition to us, have a look at some of the videos. You'll also find a couple of silly songs in there from some of our fantastic Friday shout outs. So each Friday we spend a significant amount of time making sure we praise young people who are doing the right thing day in, day out, and you'll get a flavour of the sense of humour and the sense of community and sense of family from those videos. Any frequently asked questions we will gather from these events, and we will make sure on our website or sent out to any interested parents or young people. I'm going to be visiting primary schools over the next couple of weeks, and that will be, for some of them it will be virtual, so I'll be beamed in on a big screen, and for some of them it will be physical. So any young people who've got some questions, check with your school when I'm going to be beamed in or physically there, and I'll happily answer that. And of course you can email us any questions, no matter what the question is. It won't be too small, because transition is important and we recognise it's a huge decision. And in terms of transition itself, to give a flavour of how that works for us, we undertake a significant amount of visits to our primary schools. We undertake additional meetings for any of our students with special educational needs so that we can really understand how we best support them. We do have parental events that occur before your child starts, and we also have a big step transition, which in ordinary times involves students being with us for 3 to to 4 days in July to really establish relationships with their new teachers and get used to the site and get used to how to what Broadoak Academy is like. So there's plenty of opportunities there. We are going to wrap up this evening's event by sharing with you a video that will give you a little bit of an insight into what the building looks like and the site looks like. And from that, please do go onto our website, go onto YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us. We really do appreciate the interest you've taken in Broadoak Academy, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jackson. I'm a Year 11 student at Broadoak Academy. Broadoak Academy has been great, especially for me. The community the school has, it's wonderful. The students and the staff, they work very well together, and that's what makes Broadoak Academy very unique. Even though you can't be here, we still love to show you around.
Broadoak Academy has been proudly serving the community here in the south of Weston for nearly 100 years. We are a school of 800 students, and we are set in beautiful grounds just by the sea. Here at Broadoak Academy, students can expect to study a very broad and balanced curriculum, which, as you would expect, has maths, English, science and the humanities at the heart of it. There's also ample opportunity for students to discover, explore and develop their talents and passions for sport, the arts and drama and music. Here at Broadoak Academy, we offer a wide range of extracurricular opportunities. Whatever the passion and interest that your child has, it can be explored, whether it's in science, in writing, in music, our sports teams. We have very well attended and well-renowned musical and theatre evenings, and we also have regular artistic exhibitions. The Broadoak Academy site itself is based on a central atrium which has individual wings coming off of it. Each wing is allocated to a particular year group and faculty, and this is particularly useful for our Year 7s because they are based in A wing and they have their own set of classrooms where they will be with their tutor and their head of year. They have their own outdoor space, and they also have access to the fantastic playing fields that form part of this wonderful site that we're very privileged to be on. For the past few years here at Broadoak Academy, we have worked with our primary colleagues in what we call the Big Step project, which is focused on an extended transition time for young people so that we can be assured they have a confident step from primary into secondary. And part of that is working with primary colleagues, ensuring that we understand the learning needs of young people, introducing our new Year 7s to the site, showing them where the Year 7 wing is and all of the other areas of the academy. It's amazing how quickly they adapt, but we acknowledge that sometimes young people worry that they will get lost, and that's why we spend a lot of time making sure transition is secure and confident for them. We are delighted here at Broadoak Academy to have a thriving and successful SEND, or Special Educational Needs Department, where we have a SENCO and a student support team who are dedicated to working with families, working in partnership so that young people have everything that they need to be as successful as possible. We have subject experts in each of our curriculum areas whose role it is to make sure that all children are pushed academically. We have subject experts from across the Federation as well as here within Broadoak Academy itself, so that all young people are academically pushed, challenged and supported to be the very, very best they can be. Thank you very much for your interest in Broadoak Academy, and although we haven't met in person yet, I look forward to the opportunity to talking with you about how we can work together in partnership to ensure your child's successful future.
Hi, I'm Libby and I'm a Year 8 student at Broadoak Academy. If you would like to join us in September, visit our website, drop us an email or give us a call.